In today's video, I just want to talk to you a little bit about Miss Kitty. I've had a lot of people ask me for follow-up on her since she had her choking incident. And basically, here's what's been going on. It's been over a month since she choked. And if you're not familiar with Miss Kitty's history, I'll put a link above to her playlist so you can go and see what's going on with her. But basically, she's 26 years old and she choked about a month ago. And then we had a couple weeks after that, we had a chiropractic adjustment done on her. And then we also, a week after that, had her teeth done. So during the dental exam, we found a lump in her mouth. Here's a quick look inside Miss Kitty's mouth. If you'd like to see the full dental exam, I'll post that link in the description below. I've been soaking Miss Kitty's grain every day since she choked. Miss Kitty eats Nutrina Safe Choice Senior grain. She gets Previcox and she's on a joint supplement. So what I tried is just to see if maybe it was just her teeth that needed to be floated that caused the choke. And the other day I decided to just give it to her without soaking it to see how she would do. And within a few minutes, she did choke on it again. She was able to clear it right away. I just rubbed her throat. She was fine. But it's such a, it is an inconvenience to, and I hate to say that because I don't want to sound like my horses are inconvenient, but I've been giving her grain twice a day and having to tote hot water out to the barn to soak the grain is, it just adds a lot more daily work. And so trying to, when you've got as many horses as I do, you try to keep it to a minimum. So I just wanted to see if it was necessary to soak her grain. It is. So I'm going to need to continue to soak her grain. Basically what's happening is the lump that she has in her mouth, it's located on the bottom and it's where I think half of a tooth was. So she's got a tooth that's broken or is missing, one of the two, and this lump grew there. So when she bites down, I think the top tooth is pressing on it and it hurts. So what I need to do going forward is I'm going to talk to my vet. She mentioned having a biopsy done on it just to see if it's cancer or not. And I'm not so much concerned about that because basically if it is cancer, I don't think there's really much that we could do at this point. She's 26 years old. So, but my thoughts are if it's possible to remove the lump in her mouth, I want to check on that. I want to see if that's an option or not. But basically, I don't mind giving her wet feed the rest of her life. That is just fine. As long as I know that that's what she needs to be comfortable and healthy, that's what we'll do. She is eating hay, but not much. She used to really eat hay very, very well until just recently. So I know that it's bothering her. She will, like this stall, for instance, she was in here last night. And this hay, this is 2 flakes of hay that I had put in the corner underneath that hay bag. And this is how much of a mess she made out of it. So I know she didn't eat very much of it. And she really likes like the fine little, the chaff, that's her favorite. So she'll kind of dig through it and she'll eat it. But I have been watching her a lot. So basically, how I've been determining how much to feed her, because I'm a little nervous going into winter with her having these issues. She looks really, really good right now. She's, of course, she's got a little bit of a sway back, but again, she's 26 years old. So, and I try to have, I try to use her for lessons as many days a week as I can. She'll only get 1 ride a day, and I try to put smaller riders on her that ride bareback. So, and she really loves to move. She trots great. She's happy to exercise. She really loves to do a job, and I want to make sure she doesn't lose that muscle and she doesn't lose the use of her joints and that sort of stuff because she does have a little bit of arthritis. So basically where I'm going is I'm a little nervous going into winter because I don't want her to drop any weight. So what I'm doing feed wise is I'm giving her as much grain as she'll eat, and I just kind of keep playing with it. So I would say she's getting about 5 pounds of grain right now per feeding, and I'm feeding her twice a day. So in that 5 pounds, she's eating it. She eats all of it really well. And if I can increase that a little bit, I'm going to. So basically whatever she'll eat is what I'll feed her. I'm not going to skimp at all on what she'll eat because I don't think that I have to worry about her getting fat at this point. So I'm just going to kind of keep feeding her whatever she'll eat. Now sometimes what happens is she gets about halfway done with her grain and she flips it over and she won't eat the rest. So that's kind of frustrating because, feed is really expensive. So I pay about $20 for a 50-pound bag of Nutrena Equine Senior. And if she's going to be wasting it, that's a bummer. But, if she'll eat it, I'll feed her as much as she'll eat. But so, yeah, there's just so many things to think about when these horses get older. How much it costs to feed them, what they're actually willing to eat, and then just the trial and error trying to figure out what the heck, they're going to be happy eating. So I think I might try some chopped hay for her, see if she'll do that. I just don't know. Yeah, that's what she does. She goes ahead and flips it over and then just lets it sit there. So what I've been doing is in the morning, I don't like to leave my horses in stalls, but I have been leaving her in an area where she can get in and out of a stall throughout the night. And that way I can just give her grain in the morning. And then when she's, I give her a couple hours to eat it, and then I can go back out, put her out in the pasture for the day. And then in the evening, I go ahead and stick her back in the stall, and that way she can come in and out and take as long as she needs. But it's been taking her a couple hours to finish her food. So, because she kind of picks at it, leaves it, comes back, because it's a lot of food to eat all at once. I wish there was a way for her just to have a continued supply of food all the time, but having her out in a herd environment, it's nearly impossible. When horses are kept by themselves, they get really lonely, so it's not something that I want to do for her, is to put her by herself. I learned that from Poco. He had to have feed available at all times because he was so thin as he got older, and it was sad because he just didn't want to eat and he didn't want to be alone, so it was hard. And this horse, actually, Miss Kitty, I have a spoon in my hand because I was stirring her grain, but this horse is the one that I would put with him for a few hours in the afternoon every day, just so he had somebody to hang out with, because he would get so sad being alone. When you've got horses that have sort of a high maintenance schedule, it makes it very hard to try to plan to go places and just to do things besides take care of horses. So this is the struggle is real, but whatever I need to do to make sure that she's eating and she's comfortable, it's good. Now, what I want to know is, so Miss Kitty is officially my oldest horse that I've ever had. If you saw the video I posted recently about my heart horse, Poco, he was 26 when he died, and Miss Kitty's 26. So she's officially my oldest horse that I've ever had. My parents have had horses to live much older than she is, but this is personally my oldest horse. So what I want to know is, any of you that have had horses to live over the age of 26, tell me what you feed them. She's really not a fan of beet pulp, so that's not something that she's interested in. I've been giving her, I've added some alfalfa pellets into there, soaked, and she'll eat it if there's maybe like 2 cups in there, but she won't eat more than 2 cups of alfalfa pellets at a time. Alfalfa cubes soaked, she doesn't want anything to do with them. So I tried, she's getting kind of fussy in her old age. So, and that concerns me, because if they won't eat, there's really not much you can do about that. So tell me in the comments below what you do to feed older horses when they have to have their food wet, or what kind of feed you give them that you think works pretty well. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this little update about Miss Kitty, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.